I've been channeling so much Jessie Kelly these days because when I see these lunatics and the nurses, Jessie, just like you said, they're everywhere. The crazy videos, hoping Caroline Levitt is hurt during her delivery, hoping Usha Vance is, the ones calling for all-out assaults with needles and the fatal medication by nurses in these hospitals. Thankfully, they are getting fired and they're getting their licenses revoked, at least if they're in Florida. But like this whole thing has been revenge of the nurses. Can you speak to that? Because you called that long ago.
Well, we make a mistake. We all make a mistake. I've made this mistake, but we certainly made this mistake in America when we think back to the communists on the street corners, right? The crazies on the corner with the signs and the pink hair and the nose rings. And it's human nature to look at those people and think, well, they're so deranged, they're so crazy, they're so stupid that yeah, it's annoying, right? They may screw up traffic, but I can avoid them. They're never going to I'm never going to have to encounter these people in my life. And of course, because of all their failings, they're never going to rise and actually achieve important positions in society. They're too crazy. They're too stupid. But that is so insanely naive. History tells a completely different story, that when you get enough of these bottom barrel losers like this, they will eventually work their way through institutions and they will pilot your planes. They will be standing over your bed as you're in a hospital needing life-saving care. They will be in critical positions in the government. They will be judges. They're not going to stay on the street corners forever, and they did not. And I honestly don't like to dwell on it, Megyn, because all of us at some point in time have a hospital visit in our future. And besides the education profession and maybe the legal profession, the takeover of the medical profession by these monsters is probably the scariest thing to sit and dwell on when you think about what that means for you. Put your MAGA hat away when you go to the hospital.
Yeah, MAGA scarily, yes. All right, and also when you go to the Grammys. I mean, let me tell you my number one takeaway from last night. There's a ton of mental illness in the music industry. That's one. And number two, not to put you fine a point on it, but I just sat there like, sing for me, bitch. That's how I felt. Sing. I don't support anything you're doing. I'll never buy your album, but I will sit and listen to your music if I like it. Sing, do it, dance, do it. Watch. I'll watch you and I'll listen. I won't give you any money. I don't give two shits what your thoughts are on politics. Now sing right now. That's how I felt. Like, you absolute jerk losers, know nothings. Justin Bieber is Canadian and is out there with his Get Out Ice pin. I mean, and honestly, is dumb as two bananas. He's so stupid. There's nothing in between those ears. He's a good singer, and he likes to wear his underwear a lot. That we know. We know those things about Justin Bieber. The thought that this guy's going to advise us on how to handle one of the most complex, pernicious problems in America is so galling. And then there's the fashion. I mean, here's Billie Eilish, who might be the most depressed person in America. I mean, I like all of her music is like, she shows up and she's ready to talk about ICE with her disgusting outfit. Truly, she was one of the worst dressed. Not the worst. We can talk about that in a minute because Jessie, I'm sure, wants to talk about best dressed and worst dressed. But here she was with a message, just like her fellow artists for ICE in SOT 8.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
Okay. You look like a domino. You literally look like the human embodiment of a domino, which is a great game, but it wouldn't really be my motivation for the Grammys. I mean, what? Okay. She, like everybody else who got up there to lecture us, has got more money than God. Her property records reveal she paid $14 million for her LA estate back in 2023. Yeah, and the property spans, Jesse, nearly 4 acres on an oak tree-studded hillside. Gated, of course. Accessed via a very long, sinuously winding driveway. No part of the house itself is visible from the street, but it's quite large. 6 bedrooms, 7 baths, nearly 7,000 square feet. It's located on the ancestral, unceded land of the Tongva people. Wait a minute, Billy. It's on ancestral land. The County of Los Angeles formally recognizes that it occupies land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, along with other indigenous groups. She has a net worth of well over $50 million, of course. And Billy is just fine with her 24/7 security team and her gates and her 4 acres outside of LA. But the rest of us need to live ungated, unprotected, without all the acreage, and just deal with the murderous, raping illegals that she wants sicked on us, or we're bad people.
You know, I've got actually a few things to say about these nutballs, Megyn.
Yes, I need you to say them.
First, people can criticize the Romans, the most wonderful society in the history of mankind, the longest lasting. They gave more improvements to the planet than any other empire in the history of the world. But the Romans had a lot of things figured out very, very well. You said, just sing for me. Well, that's exactly how the Romans viewed artists. The Romans loved plays. They loved music. They absolutely adored these things. But they also understood that generally the practitioners of these things should never, ever, 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 ever make decisions of any kind in a society. High society Romans, it was actually a scandal if they were even seen talking to a musician and an actor. They regarded them as the same level as prostitutes. And you can say that's mean and that's insulting, but I would invite everybody to go watch the Grammys and tell me just how far the Romans were off. They nailed it exactly. I don't need to argue politics with Billie Eilish. I don't even know who this woman is. In the same way, I don't need to argue politics with a monkey. Her job is there to sing. She's not there to make decisions, should never make decisions in a society. I don't argue with my dog over what to have for dinner. And I don't argue with Billie Eilish about how to handle immigration for a country of 300 million people. That's not something that would ever happen in a million years. And more than anything else, Megyn, what they are is, because we have such a corrupted system in this country, where we have all these cultural institutions that are taken over by these monsters, what they're doing is they're trying to get access to the upper floors of the building. And you have to check certain boxes to get access to the upper floors of the building. For instance, I want to make sure he gets credit for it. The wonderful actor James Woods gave an interview recently. I don't remember who with. Sorry to not give that person credit. But James Woods was actually talking about the Oscars. And they were talking to him about DEI in Hollywood. And James Woods said, well, here's how it works in Hollywood. You can write the best movie in the world, have the best actors, have this and that. If you don't have enough gays in it, enough black people in it, enough this, if your movie is not, if it doesn't have enough DEI, then boom, you've run into the ceiling. You can't get all the way up to the Oscar. That is a box you must have checked. Think of it like a security card. If you can't scan it and get through that door, there's no Oscar for you. So you have to start throwing that stuff in there. These musicians are the exact same way. Would you like $10 million to play at the next Democrat National Convention? $10 million can be yours. Pay for that house and that security. But we're going to need 30 seconds from you at the Grammys rolling out the Democrat line about how every single foreign barbarian should be able to move into your neighborhood and eat your cat. That's what you have to do. If you want that $10 million, it's the way you get to move on up the building. And that's what they're doing. They're just morons giving the company line because it keeps moving them up the floors. That's all it does. Remember when that idiot Macklemore or whatever that dork's name is? I think he won a Grammy for like the worst song ever because it was all about gay people. That's the only reason he won it. It was the worst song ever. I think it was like auto-tuned and everything else, but he made it gay enough. Boom, Grammy. There you go.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There is a never-ending list of reasons that gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold, so you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. He's still at it. He's been ripping on ICE in the past couple of weeks as well, as have so many of them, most of whom I have no idea who they are. The only one who I knew was Shabuzi, whose music I like. And he will sing for me, bitch. He will. Sing. Do it. Now. Play. That's it. I love it. I really don't give a shit about what their feelings are on politics. I will listen to them sing. I won't pay the money to listen to it because I won't support them. But I do feel the need to mock them that they think they can come into our lane and talk politics. Same as I don't know shit about Shabuzi. He sounds like a man who might need a 30-day in-house treatment program, but whatever. I'm not going to opine on his music or how music's made because that's not my lane. And I have news for you, Shabuzi. And also we're going to see singer Kehlani, Samara Joy, and also I think it's just those three in this clip. You don't know anything about politics either. Top three.
That I say is that everybody is so powerful in this room and in this room later, and together we're stronger in numbers to speak against all the injustice going on in the world right now. Yeah. So instead of letting it be just a couple few here and there, I hope everybody's inspired to join together as a community of artists and speak out against what's going on. And I'm gonna leave this and say, fuck ICE.
I want to stand up, I don't want to draw attention to myself all the time without recognizing the humanity between myself and all the people around the world who are experiencing such tragedies.
Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Okay. Jesse, it's so dishonest. It's so freaking dishonest to pretend that this is about immigrants. It has nothing to do with immigrants. There's lots of immigrants in the country right now. We don't bother them. They came in legally. They jumped through the right hoops. We don't bother them. The First Lady is an immigrant. All right? We don't bother them. It's the illegal immigrants who need to get the F out. And so, this is just so blatantly dishonest. Is he dumb or dishonest? We should play that game for everybody we're going to go through. Your thoughts?
I think it's dumb, and maybe even dumb is being a little mean, although you know how mean I actually am, Megan. I think it's more programmable. You know what hit me when I was just watching that sod of all these people and ICE this and F ICE and all this other stuff? I would love to play a replay. In fact, I think I'm going to go dig this up, a replay of what the Grammys were like during COVID and how many of these people got up and told people to take the vax and get your shot and did all these other things during COVID. And what it shows is they're just robots. I mean, they're just robots, not wearing very much clothing. And you just upload to them like a robot, whatever the latest software update is of the day, whatever the latest commie talking points are, and they'll go out there and say it. You could, I promise you, if there was enough propaganda and money behind it, next year at the Grammys, you could get all these people to go out there and give a speech on whale farts smelling good. And it sounds ridiculous, but I guarantee if you put enough money incentive behind it and promise them there'd be a potential Grammy and there'd be great publicity behind it, and you're going to get an Us Weekly for it, and you're going to get invited to this concert, every single one of these morons would go up there and talk about how wonderful whale farts are. And then the next year it would be something else. And then the next year it would be something else entirely. It's not like these are introspective people who sit at home and consume the news. They're not listening to the Megyn Kelly Show on the wonderful SiriusXM. They're not informed about anything at all, about anything. They're just robots. You just put in a little software update, beep, 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 and they roll out there and say the next thing. I find it to be so boring. And like I said, they're people who really just shouldn't be taken seriously at all.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.